First up, Israel's ministry has confirmed the death of an Israeli man held hostage in Gaza. His body was held in Gaza since October 7th. The government did not say how it learnt of the death. The 49-year-old, whose name was Dror Or, lived in the Be'eri kibbutz region, and the kibbutz region is one of the communities hardest hit by the October 7th attacks. Dror's wife, Yonat, was killed in the initial assault, while two of the couple's 3 children were also abducted and then freed in November as part of the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. Now, Dror's death was announced as mediators Qatar, the United States and Egypt are waiting for Hamas's response to a new proposal for a ceasefire deal and hostage deal. Meanwhile, Hamas has said that in response to Egypt's latest proposal, it will send a delegation to Cairo as soon as possible to keep working on ceasefire talks. They have indicated that they are taking up the proposal in a positive manner. Now, on the other hand, families of Israeli hostages held a protest in Tel Aviv, stepping up pressure on the government to reach a deal with Hamas. The protest was held outside the Defense Ministry headquarters, where the Israel War Cabinet ministers were meeting. Meanwhile, Benjamin Netanyahu was convening his war cabinet to discuss a possible deal and a long-threatened ground offensive into southern Gaza city of Rafah. Israel says that it is where Hamas is still operating. Over 1 million Palestinians have found refuge during the war in this region. Now, in a recent attack, a senior Palestinian doctor has been killed in an Israeli prison after more than 4 months of detention. The Israeli authorities released 64 Palestinians they had detained during their military offensive in Gaza via the Israeli-controlled Kerem Shalom crossing. Meanwhile, the Islamic resistance in Iraq launched multiple attacks as well on Israel using cruise missiles. The attacks was carried out with multiple Arqab-type cruise missiles and targeted the Israeli city of Tel Aviv for the first time. Israel was not publicly commenting on the attacks that was claimed by the Iraqi group. On the other hand, Syria's defense ministry has said that 8 soldiers had been injured in Israeli airstrikes near Damascus. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights War Monitor said that Israel struck a government building in the countryside of Damascus that had been used by Lebanon's Iran-backed Hezbollah group since 2014. Turkey has said it was suspending all trade with Israel, and that is until Israel allows aid to enter into Gaza unhindered during its offensive against Hamas militants in the territory. This comes as a shipment from Jordan was attacked by Israel and subsequently diverted by Hamas. The US has called for both Israel and Hamas to ensure that aid bound for civilians in Gaza is not disrupted.
The convoys from the Jordan military that brought the aid in unloaded the aid inside Gaza. It was then picked up by a humanitarian implementer for distribution inside Gaza, and that aid was intercepted and diverted by Hamas on the ground in Gaza. These attacks on aid shipments are unacceptable, and that Israel ought to take steps to prevent them, and it ought to take steps to hold people accountable for them. And I will tell you, we were glad to hear that Israel yesterday arrested 3 of the people involved in the attacks on this convoy.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.